Hello, my name is Ruth Udo, and for my audience members, I have with me
Salut.
Jubilee, Chisom, and Ayondu. Imagine this. You are working in your high-tech future dream job. You love your job, but you find out that your current boss is involved in some fraudulent activities that could end up affecting the company badly. You decide to report to higher authorities about the situation. Obviously, you still want your job, but you want something to be done about the mess that the company might be in. By considering your options, you could become a whistleblower. But you want to be protected, so you inquire about protection policies. You find out about anti-retaliation laws which prohibits your company from retaliating against you in any form. But you also find out that your identity is not exactly protected. That means you could be found out. This could mean a big change for you in your life, inside and outside of work. If for any reason the trial gets out of hand, and there are indirect retaliation acts from any parties that are not directly related to you, the anti-retaliation laws may not be enough. Should you take the risk of proceeding with a whistleblower trial in hopes for the best? First, let's take a look at what it means to be a whistleblower. Whistleblowers are people who become aware of corruption or other wrongdoing and take steps to do something about it. Usually, the protocol is for someone to speak up to someone in higher authority, then inform an intelligence official who would file a complaint with the Inspector General. He then is expected to refer the matter to the Director of National Intelligence, who would consider if further investigations should be carried out. If decided yes, the opposing party, which is the complainant, is then informed, evidence is gathered, and the trial begins. The goal is for the unethical activities which are reported to come to a stop. Although some whistleblower cases don't turn out badly, there's no telling of how the loopholes in the law can be taken advantage of. It is known that whistleblowers are protected by law from retaliation, but US laws vary among different industries. This means that certain laws apply to individuals within an industry, but not to individuals in a different industry. And this is where the loopholes I'm referring to are formed. An example are intelligence whistleblowers. They are still susceptible to facing punishment at work, even though it's illegal. And worst of all is that they could have limited legal recourse. For these reasons is why Giglio, the author at Atlantic, said, and I quote, "The broader notion that the US intelligence community's whistleblower system is inadequate is true, and also a common notion among whistleblower lawyers and advocates." The recent controversy with President Trump and the whistleblower has brought whistleblowing to the public eye. Whistleblowing was initially just a term for anyone to expose any wrongdoing, even publicly. But the government took it under the wings to protect those whistleblowers in an effort to promote ethicality. Now, if there's a controversy that shows whistleblowing in a different light than its original intent, then its purpose is defeated. Whistleblowers can serve as an important function in improving organizations, eliminating corruption, and more, however. The process needs to remain consistent through every trial and regardless of who the complainant is. In the most recent case, the complainant was Donald Trump, and his status allowed him to stymie the ongoing investigations about him. The fact that this could happen shows that there are some loopholes which was taken advantage of. Now, Trump is publicly criticizing and threatening to reveal the identity of the whistleblower. Keep in mind that there is no law guaranteeing protection of the whistleblower's identity. At this point, the anti-retaliation laws are not what is needed. Anyone can be a whistleblower, but who would still want to be one after such a controversy? Whistleblowers automatically assume a risk when they tell the truth about something, but it's only because they want the best out of it. If the outcome of the trial isn't positive, then the risk that they've assumed is blown. It is just like Bradley Mast, a whistleblower attorney, said, "It is offensive to whistleblowers that the president is talking about how he's going to oust them. And no matter who is in the Oval Office, the need for whistleblowers to raise their concerns with confidentiality and anonymity is critical." At this moment, anti-retaliation protection policies are not adequate in protecting whistleblowers. These policies should enforce keeping the anonymity of the whistleblower to avoid any case of indirect retaliation. An example of a whistleblower case is that of Karen Silkwood. She died mysteriously after blowing the whistle on her company. Unless whistleblowers are covered by the law completely, then they're exposed and at risk. Whistleblowing policies should be improved to be consistent and inclusive for anyone who decides to blow the whistles. Some examples of whistleblowers are listed below as follows. Mark Felt from the Watergate scandal with President Richard Nixon. Daniel Ellsberg, also from Nixon's scandal. And Linda Tripp, who was a key figure in Monica Lewinsky's scandal. Each of these people were from different industries, but they all had something in common, which was that they were human and they deserved a chance to speak out. They each made significant impacts. Just imagine what the turn in history would be if their trial went any differently. Policies should acknowledge whistleblower rights as human rights, as it would allow for every trial to be consistent, regardless of which industry the individual is from. Be it UN peacekeepers, police officers, contractors, or anyone at all, they should all have the same protection benefits. So, what happens if these policies are adopted versus if they're not? If adopted, the case of Donald Trump's whistleblower would not be as it is today. It would go in the way it was initially created to, and that would show consistency of the policies and of the policies that are guiding whistleblowers rather than controversies against them. If they aren't adopted, however, the result could be the opposite. People would no longer be interested in taking such a risk and speaking up through the whistleblower program if it puts them at the greater risk afterwards, especially if there's more that could have been done by the whistleblower program to protect them, but it wasn't. Also, if there's no improvement in the policies after this whole Trump whistleblower controversy, then there could be an aftermath of more uncertainty and distrust against the whole program. Even now, because there's already people who are skeptical about it. It would be in the best interest of the country to improve whistleblower policies to be protected and consistent for all whistleblowers. It's important that people know that they would not fall into the same position as Donald Trump's whistleblower. If we, the people, consider improved whistleblower protection policies as a priority, then the government would also consider that. Take action now and sign a petition today to urge government representatives to make whistleblower protection a priority. Please find the link down below in the description box. Thank you.